Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great week. I am here to share with you the books that I'm currently reading, the books that I plan on reading, and the books that I might read for November. So I'm participating in two reading events this month. The first one, which is Shock Historathon 2023, and then the second one is Nonfiction November. So I'll share with you the Nonfiction November reads first. Two of them do fit into the Historathon reading event as well, so I feel like I can lump them together. And the two prompts or categories that I am choosing to fit my reading material into are fraud and web. In Olive's introduction video, she said she finds it entertaining listening to people trying to fit books that they already had in their reading lists into the prompts that she announces. But these prompts, as she says, are designed to be very flexible and vague for that reason, to get as many people as to be able to participate as possible. I think mine are probably like stretching it a bit, but we'll see, I guess, at the end of reading them if they actually fit or not. The first one, which fits into the web category, is an audiobook. This is Men Who Hate Women by Laura Bates, and this is just a look at incels and extreme misogyny. And I chose this to fit into the web category because I think this community is able to flourish online, where they can have this network that wouldn't normally exist in normal society. And yeah, these ideas of these ideas of misogyny are able to spread on the internet or the web. So the second one that I plan on reading, and I've already started this book, and it is quite eye-opening. Let's just say that. But moving on to the next one, this one I also plan on reading for Historathon 2023. So Historathon 2023, all you need to do to participate is read a piece of nonfiction that fits into the time period that we are currently in. So the final quarter of the year, the months between October and December, focuses on the years between 1820 to present. So this book, I think I had scheduled it for December, but I pulled it forward just to fit the fraud prompt for November. And this one is called, if I can show you, sorry, this is another audiobook or ebook. 1 second. The app is taking forever to load. Well, anyways, this is called The Radium Girls, and this is by Kate Moore. And this is about the young women who worked in clock factories, and they were applying radium to these clocks to give it the well-known glow. And I think this is, when I mentioned earlier in the video that I think it's kind of a bit of a stretch to fit it into the fraud category, it almost seems like there's kind of a jungle vibe or theme to this situation. These young women were unfortunately developing serious health side effects as a result of working in these factories, despite the company saying that, you know, radium was beneficial to one's health. And unfortunately, these women met very early, very gruesome demises. So yeah, I think these companies it's alluded to were telling lies just to make a buck. And it sounds like they knew something was up, but didn't take measures to protect their staff or the community, or yeah, the public, I should say. So yeah, that's why I decided the fraud category. We'll see at the end after I read this if it actually fits or not. But yeah. One of the books that I'm listening to, well, actually, I'll show you a physical book first. One of the books that I picked up for Historathon, which I might get to this month, is The Fall of Yugoslavia by Misha Glenny. I recently finished an audiobook last month, which was part memoir, part history. This was Tim Marshall's Shadow Play, in which he discusses or recounts his coverage of the Kosovo War. He was a war correspondent working in the area of the Balkans at the time to cover that conflict. And I really just wanted to learn more about the recent history of the Balkans, just to understand the conflicts that have happened there quite recently a bit better. So yeah, Misha Glenny's The Fall of Yugoslavia. And then the other one, which I'm currently listening to for Historathon 2023, is a book on Weimar Germany. Again, I don't tend to read a lot of, sorry, I just turned it on. I don't tend to read a lot of very recent history. If you know me, my wheelhouse is very much medieval or early prehistory. So when it comes to nonfiction or history that is more recent, I mean, I understand the basics, but beyond that, I don't have an in-depth knowledge. So I did pick this up and I started listening to it before work. I can normally fit in about 40 minutes each morning before work. So I think I should be able to finish it this month. And I'm enjoying learning about Weimar Germany. And then the other book that I plan on reading this month, which isn't nonfiction, isn't history, well, it is history, it's historical fiction, is Dan Jones's Wolves of Winter. This is the second book in his Essex Dog trilogy. Essex Dog, I already have on my shelf and I read it earlier this year. Really good. Dan Jones writes popular history, and it's exciting history. I picked this book up in the UK. It was released in the UK last month. I'm not sure if it's available in the US or elsewhere yet, but I do plan on reading it this month. I was quite excited when I picked this up. I did get this at a talk that Dan Jones was giving in a Waterstones in Liverpool. And he was very engaging, very entertaining, vibed well with the crowd. And at the end, we got a signing, so I'm very happy about that. So yes, I plan on reading this month as well. Yeah, so those are the books that I definitely plan on reading, the ones that I'm currently reading and the ones that I hope to get to. I have two books that I'll show you, but I don't plan on reading them this month. I got God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater by Kurt Vonnegut. I do love Vonnegut. And then I got this, The Naked Neanderthal by Ludovic Slimak. Slimak is a Paleolithic archaeologist. He excavates or leads the excavation at a site in France called Grotte Mandrin. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but to date, this appears to be the site that has the earliest evidence of Homo sapiens in Europe. Pushes the date back 10,000 years earlier, which means there are, more potential interactions between them and Neanderthals that occurred much earlier in Europe. So I am quite interested to see what he has to say to a general audience about Neanderthals. I'm always looking for books on prehistory so I can share them with you all, because I don't think that prehistory is a readily accessible period of time for the general reader. If you go into a bookstore, I'm sure if you go to the archaeology section, it's probably just going to be on ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, it's probably going to be on the Celts. Yeah. So I will most likely read this late December, early January, and I can't wait to share my thoughts with everyone. So yeah. Anyways, hopefully you liked these books. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you plan on reading for the month of November, and I hope all of you have a very wonderful day. Bye for now, BookTube.